Hello and welcome. We're going to switch to another screen. Here we go. So these pictures, as you see, they're not from your book. No, they're from my biology book. Well, but I talk about your biology book. It is 11.4, section 1. Yeah, I'm making 2 videos about this because it's quite complex. All right, we're at page 146 if you want to join us. Today I'm going to tell you about the way you look like. You are a mixture of your parents, and your parents are a mixture of their parents. And therefore you are a mixture of your grandparents, or a mixture of a mixture of a mixture of your mixture of a mixture. You get the idea of all of your ancestors. You could also say you're the best version of all of them. And that's because only the sperm cell and the egg cell, which were actually the very, very best, they developed into you. There are more best versions of your parents. Those are your siblings. Okay, so today I'm going to tell you something about spermatogenesis, about oogenesis, about DNA, and about genetics, a start of it. That's the goal for today. Well, we start with this image. This image is an image of an animal cell. You might remember it from this year or last year. Let me take you on a trip. So the outer layer here is called the cell membrane. And the cell membrane are the customs. They decide will go in and out. And then there is this stuff here in the middle. It's called cytoskeleton here. We call it cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is where everything floats. These red things here are the powerhouses, the mitochondria. That's where your glucose is burned into energy, ready for use. But now we're talking about this purple blob here. You don't have to worry about the green and the blue blobs. These are very difficult names. Endoplasmic reticulum, rough and smooth ER, whatever, forget about it. Okay, we go into the purple dot here. The purple dot is a nucleus. It is an envelope, so it's a membrane. And inside membrane, there's chromatin, and that is DNA. What about DNA? Well, DNA stands for desoxyribonucleic acid. You know that all, of course. You don't have to know. Forget about it. If you look closely at DNA, you see that it looks like a staircase. It's called a double helix. So you see that these blue and yellow bonds go all the way down, and between them are those green, orangey connections, the stairs. Those stairs are made out of 4 types: A, C, T, and G, which stands for adenine, cytosine, thymine, and guanine. You can forget it as well. Just remember there are 4 different ones. Those 4 different ones, they spell a code. For example, ACT is a different code than ATA. CCG, TAG, whatever. You can make words of it, kind of words, and you can make recipes of it. Those recipes, they code for proteins. Proteins are very, very, very important. Remember, what is the function of something? Protection. How does it work? Because of proteins. So that's where the proteins are made. DNA itself is also a protein. Okay, but that's another story for another time. So the nucleotides, so the combinations of DNA bases, they are a recipe for proteins. So if you coil them up, you get a staircase like this, the double helix. If you coil them up even further, you get a fiber like this with coiled DNA. It's only 30 nanometers. And that coils up even tighter and further and further and further into a chromatid. And 2 chromatids together form a chromosome. The word chromos is color in Greek, and soma is body, so colored body. Actually, they are not purple, but okay, they have a different color, so that's why we call them chromosomes or something. I don't know. So going to the next one, this is an actual image of our chromosomes, 2 sister chromatids. And you see they're bound together in a centromere. So this is an actual photo of a chromosome in a cell nucleus. Isn't that marvelous? Right. So this is the story of oogenesis. Oogenesis means the forming of egg cells. The forming of egg cells already started before birth of all girls. So you all have all of your egg cells already with you. You know that it is inside the follicle. And when it's stimulated by GnRH and stimulated by FSH and LH, it will pump itself full of water and then bursts open to form an egg cell and a corpus luteum. Right, you see there are two N here. Let me skip forward to this picture here, yes. And that 2N stands for for every chromosome, there are two the same sister chromatids. There is one coming from that and one coming from mom. One from that, one from mom, one from mom, one from that, one from mom, and so on and so on and so on. That means that every egg cell contains only one set of chromosomes, and every sperm cell also contains only one set. When you combine them, baby has pairs of the chromatids, so has chromosomes, which are all a copy of each other. That's necessary because otherwise it won't be a human being. It will be something else which is not able to live. So, in the forming of the egg cell, the DNA is doubled and then split again. So in the completion of this process called meiosis, but you don't have to know it right now, there's a cell formed which has a nucleus and inside one set of the chromatids. On the other hand, sperm cells are developed every day. Every day a boy or a man is fertile, and I would say starts around 11 or 12 and ends around 80. And every day they develop new, fresh sperm cells. And those sperm cells, they are developed in a kind of same way. There's also meiosis going on here. So you start with a cell where there is a set of two of every chromatid, and you end up with sperm cells containing only one set. Okay, so now we're back at this one, and let me show you. There you see that chromosome 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, until 22 are roughly all the same. So they're all the same characteristics on it, but X and Y, there's a difference. See, there is an X and there is a Y. And maybe you've heard of it. I guess you've heard of it. XY forms a boy and XX forms a girl. So boys make sperm cells, and boys make sperm cells with chromatid 1 till 22 plus an X, or 1 till 22 plus a Y. The Y sperm cells, they make up boys together with an X cell. The X sperm cells, they make up girls with an X cell. So that's why we say that boys determine the sex, while sperm cells determine the sex of the child. Okay, so if you have a closer look at the X and the Y, there's something going on. You see that an X chromosome is a lot bigger than a Y chromosome. So there are a lot more characteristics on the X chromosome than there are on the Y chromosome. So that means, well, what does it mean? Well, you could say that boys are incomplete girls. You could say that, right? So girls have a double set of all the characteristics which are on the X chromosome, where boys only have one set of those characteristics. That brings us to another type of genetics, and it's sex-linked genetics, sex-linked hereditary characteristics. But I tell you more about it in another lesson, because I think this is already enough. Yes, so let's wrap it up. There is a cell inside the cell. There's a nucleus. Inside the nucleus there's DNA. DNA is desoxyribonucleic acid. It's 4 letters, A, C, T, G. You can make a code. A code codes for a protein. A protein carries out a function. When you coil up the DNA, it forms chromatids and chromosomes. This is a real chromosome. Egg cells are produced by women. Sperm cells are produced by men. When you combine the single set of chromatids of a sperm cell with the single set of chromatids of an egg cell together, you get a fertilized one, and you get this, a karyotype of a healthy human baby. Well, thanks for your attention. The exercises belonging to this are exercise 3 till 10. You'll find them in your workbook, page 35 and on. Thanks for the attention. I hope to see you soon. Bye.